Hello and welcome. This is Business Morning on Channels Television. It's a midweek edition of the program. I'm Harriet Agbenyi. A warm welcome to our viewers here and around the world. Let's start the show. Now, the second trading day of the week saw soft trading in the equities market, but there was strong demand in the Treasury bill segment of the fixed income market. We'll review the numbers in a bit. In the headlines at this time, President Muhammadu Buhari and the state governors have resolved to end the financial crisis being experienced by some state governors. At the end of the president's meeting with the governors, the Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari, who's also chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, told State House correspondents that instead of bailouts, the governors have requested for a refund of federal government monies used for federal government projects that they carried out in their state. In the meantime, the president has also given an assurance that the days of impunity, lack of accountability, and financial recklessness in the management of national resources are over. He has vowed to go after the funds stolen by government officials in recent past and promised to ensure that leakages in the system are plugged. The president told the governors that the next 3 months may be hard, but billions of dollars will be recovered, giving the assurance from the U.S. and other countries to help track the funds. Now, it seems the era of transparency in the National Assembly is here, as the Senate has announced plans to set up an ad hoc committee to reappraise the structure of the National Assembly budget by making it more open and ensure it is in line with current economic realities. The Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, announced this at the resumption of plenary on Tuesday. He said setting up this committee is in response to media reports of the last few days on the allowances of lawmakers. Meanwhile, the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee has disbursed 409.354 billion naira to the 3 tiers of government for the month of May. The Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Finance, Mrs. Anastasia Nwokobia, said the shared money includes revenue from mineral and non-mineral resources, as well as taxes collected by customs and the Federal Inland Revenue Service. A total of 317.23 billion was shared between the federal government and the states as statutory allocation, in addition to 54.54 billion naira from value-added tax. Well, to legal matters now, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has restated the validity of the judgment which restrained the commencement of any extradition process against Senator Buruji Kashamu. Justice Ibrahim Buba, in a judgment delivered on Tuesday on a contempt application filed by Senator Kashamu against the Attorney General of the Federation and Chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Ahmadu Giade, held that the order made by another judge of the court, Justice Okon Abang, is, quote, still subsisting and must be complied with until it is set aside by a superior court, end of quote. Justice Buba dismissed a preliminary objection filed by the NDLEA and then warned the AGF and the NDLEA chairman to be of good conduct and obey the subsisting order of the court. And those are the headlines at this hour. Of course, you know you can log on to channelstv.com for more news and reports. Well, midweek trade resumes mixed after the equities market closed soft, but there was strong demand in the Treasury bill segment of the market, and we're expected to see that continue, especially with FAC allocations hitting the system. Boso Mofaye, Channel's business news editor, joins me now to fleshing up the numbers. Good morning to you,
I'm taking a look at the list here. The central bank just released a list of items banned from import using foreign exchange. And let's start on the very funny side. One of our colleagues on the line says, these 28 items, there's nothing about Brazilian air. For women, they should have included in the ban. You women spend about 150,000 buying Brazilian air in hard currencies to plate airs. Now, if you got a pen and paper, or go on website, sendbank.org to talk about this. Now, the central bank is trying. There's been a number of, the meeting that started last week has now been concluded yesterday, and the central bank rolled out a long list, well, 28 items. Now, if you want to import these items into Nigeria, the central bank says, use your own money, don't approach the foreign exchange market to to get money to import them.
Because you ain't
now,
getting it.
Now, you ain't getting it. Now, what are some of these? Now, this looks like a very interesting story here. I'll just take about one or two for you. For those who are interested in rice, for example, margarine, okay, so you can get palm kernel, palm oil products, vegetable oil, meat and processed meats that you folks get to shop at, I don't want to say shop right, but, well, shop, okay. Vegetables, poultry chicken, egg, turkey. Are you writing that, guys? If you are bringing in private airplanes and jets, for those who are rich, Indian incense, for those who are interested. Then there's tin fish, what you call geisha, and sardines, Titus.
But then, you see, as much as this list has come out, there's also reports that the federal government may have lifted the ban on importation of furniture and
There is
some
included, and I'm just
textiles.
going down because roofing sheets is also included, wheelbarrows, for example, and you can go to Onitsha, or the boys in Inewi, they'll manufacture this for you. Just use some shit and you can get it done. Okay, so it's a very long list here, and the central bank just put a ban on that. That's the part of the conclusion of the meeting that the central bank held with commercial banks and treasury managers trying to conserve the country's depleting foreign currencies. So cement is also included. Go local. That's what the central bank is just saying. Now, you can eat our own fish here. Catfish, you don't need to eat Titus, tin fish, and things like that. But let's look at the interbank now. So let's do a wrap around the market. Harriet, let me do this very quickly. Interbank yesterday, the Naira firmed up on the dollar, but declined against the pound, the British pound, and the euro. And that's quite not too happy news there to start with. Let's start with the currencies that you see there. Part of this is interbank offer rate market as well. The Naira, which rose to 180 against the dollar, where on May 29, where the inauguration has now fallen to 222 at the parallel market. Yesterday, according to some of the sources we got, the Naira was on the dollar at 220 and 222 on the streets of Lagos, Abuja, and Kano. For the pound sterling, 350 Naira will fetch you 1 pound, British pound that is, and 249 Naira to get you 1 euro. Okay, now if you look at interbank, average rate jumped yesterday 143 points to 18.53% because of liquidity overhang in the system. Last week, the financial regulator conducted massive mop-up, including the DMO debt auction. Now we're entering the last trading week of the month and of the quarter. And this is when we start to adjust our portfolios for those who are in the business of finance. You know what I mean? You need to adjust your assets to balance it for the end of the month. That's why overnight money is also racing ahead by 450 points to 22.38%. And 1 month interbank at 16.06. And we'll talk about the Naira and what the central bank is doing. Don't forget, if you are in the habit of consuming imported rice, spiced with imported meat and chicken, with imported vegetables, and imported eggs and turkey, well, perhaps using an imported cutleries as well. Now, you may have to get a cut into this list by the central bank. Harriet, hold your breath there. Let's get to Treasury, where average yield narrows 7 points to 13.53% on the second trading day of the week. Liquidity overhang in the market, 59% of traded bills at the secondary market post-yield increases or expansions, as Harriet sometimes put it. Sentiment, however, remain bullish for short-dated bills. However, the bond market is a little bit different as profit-taking on the last Friday rally continue. Average yields up about 4 points to 14.73 at the bond market. Investors' appetite remain a little bit sluggish or lukewarm on concerns about the country's political direction in terms of administration. Let's finish up with the stock market. A bit of a soft landing yesterday for the composite index, about 0.01%. We lost about 1 billion naira yesterday, but of course, who helped the market to stay afloat? Thanks to the oil and gas folks, that's about 2.8%, the biggest index expansion in the market yesterday. The banks added about 0.36%. The insurance cousins was down by 0.5%, 0.53. We'll talk about the insurance folks later on the program. If you've seen the earnings from the insurance companies climbing and their total assets and premium also expanding, you wonder how the insurance boys are getting back into big business. You'll be surprised. Just keep your eyes on the program. We'll do that at about 10:45.